In the near future, humanity has reached for the stars, but with every step into space comes danger, loneliness, and questions we may not be ready to answer. Roy McBride is an excellent astronaut, famed for his calm under pressure. His heart rate never spiked over 80 BPMs, even in the most dire situations. Deep space was his life's mission, and he gave up every form of happiness to accomplish this feat. On a routine space mission, they experienced mystery power surges that threatened mankind. He was called in by the Air Force and debriefed on what they experienced in space. They tracked those surges to the furthest parts of the solar system, Neptune, but then came the shocking twist. They also believed a group of astronauts sent to space for the Lima project were causing these surges. Roy knew the Lima project very well. It was led by his father, Clifford McBride, who disappeared years ago. But the Air Force believed his father was still alive and wanted Roy to send him an intergalactic message. Roy had mixed feelings about this mission. For the first time, he was emotionally tripped. His father was a legend in the astronaut program. He was the reason Roy chose this field, but he was also the reason Roy could never have any successful relationships. He embarked on this journey from the Earth to the Moon, but he did not know what awaited him. They faced space assassins and almost lost their life, but he landed on Mars and was ready to reach his father. After a few messages, the space program tried to dispose of him. For the first time in his space career, his BPM was over the limit and he failed his psych eval. The space program decided to bench him, but he met a woman who was also a casualty of the Lima project. Her parents embarked on the journey with his father, and his father killed them all because they got tired of the mission. Roy took this trip more seriously to bring down his father, and Helen was more than happy to help. He helped him get onto the rocket, where the astronauts were given directives to kill him. Somehow, they ended up killing themselves in the fight against him. Roy was left alone to complete this mission. He was on a 79-day journey from Mars to Neptune, and he grew lonelier as the days went by, facing issues of hallucinations and mental fatigue. Lonely used to be his happy place, but now it was killing him. But this journey definitely gave him perspective. He arrived in Neptune successfully, executing the mission of planting the bomb to distinguish the project. But before he could finish arming it, he heard a voice. It was his father, and as much as he did not want to show it, he was happy to see him. It's been 20 years since he saw him, but his father was not as enthusiastic. He blatantly told Roy he was happier in space than he ever was with his family, and somehow Roy totally understood. He was a living embodiment of his father. Clifford had no plans of leaving. He was going to stay until he made contact with extraterrestrial life, but Roy reasoned with him. He was not giving up. He actually succeeded, because now the world knows humans are all there is left. He somehow convinced him out of the spacecraft, but could not hold on to him. Space was his home, and there was nothing left for him on Earth. He releases himself into outer space as a final act of the death of his obsession, but also a release of the hold he had on his son. Roy travels back to Earth, a changed man, having a new outlook on life and relationships. He was ready to love because his father showed him what a life without balance can do to a man. Moral of the story: